encourages you. Raised to hit a woman. I wasn't raised to cuss and to holler and do all this to a woman. And I said, man, I need to get out of this because it's gonna get worse. It was getting worse. First it started, we just cussing at each other, we hollering at each other. Then she throwing candles at me.
Sometimes the girls just don't want to argue, they just want to be understood. Like if we bring in something up, we just don't want to argue, we want to talk about, we don't want to just argue.
Everything plays in the fact and the tone. If you hollering at me, the only thing I know to do is holler back.
I understand, like, a lot of men, boys, young men, they don't really know nothing about love, especially loving a female, because they don't have a dad figure. But at the end of the day, your mother was right there. You know how to love your mama. Love your mama just like you love your girlfriend. And sometimes women argue and they fuss at you a lot because they want you to understand, like, it's not all about, oh, me. It's two-sided. And sometimes female pour out their heart and all the dudes say is okay. But all we want is understanding. Like, we want communication. And a lot of men, like, a lot of young men don't do that.
We can't really love y'all females like we love our mom. Our mom been there our whole life. Y'all haven't been there. Y'all temporarily. We don't know how long y'all been there. We don't know how long y'all been there. But listen, we don't know how long y'all been there, though.
Okay.
Love is kind. Love is patient. Love is long-suffering. Love is gentleness. So what happens is the moment we understand what love is, then we know what to look for. So now you arguing, how can you love me if you don't love yourself? Don't y'all see the pattern, man? Single family, domestic violence, people getting locked up. He hitting the girl. Y'all cussing back and forth. Mom cuss back and forth. Dad cuss back and forth. My dad, y'all don't see the pattern? Can y'all are created to change the pattern. I'm not saying what you said is not being heard. You feel that way because what you've been exposed to. So therefore, you got to talk aggressive and talk like make sure you heard and make sure you're seen. But that's not the proper. It may not be the proper way to go because now what happened is you're attracting ladies who feeds off that kind of strength. Yeah. And now it's drama. What you want to say about that?
That creates the toxic environment that you don't need. Because if you hollering and she hollering, y'all hollering at each other, nobody's hearing each other, then next thing you know, y'all fighting. Next thing you know, you ain't coming home. Next thing you know, you out doing something you shouldn't be doing. And cycle with pieces.
So today in my class, I learned a lot about relationships and how people take accountability of how they feel with other people and express themselves in different ways. It was a lot of different emotions.
Today's in my class, we basically learned you can't base all relationships based off your past. Like if you had an unhealthy relationship in your past, if you got a new girl and then she treating you right, you can't treat her like the other one.
Today, man, I was brought up here, man, to give my perspective on relationships, my perspective, to help the young men and young women to grow up in the society of the new age relationships, new age dating. And man, just being here, seeing the feedback that the young lady had and the young men had, man, it's a blessing to see. I just hope that more of this happens. More of these surroundings, people are in these type of environments, these type of classrooms where real life, real issues is being talked about.